You ever have one of those days where you're just minding your business, doing something simple, something good, and suddenly the world turns on you? I'll never forget the moment it all started. Picture this: blue sky, birds chirping, a Saturday morning that actually feels like a Saturday morning. My wife, my partner, my best friend, the smartest, calmest woman you'd ever meet, is out front with her hands deep in the dirt, putting the finishing touches on this pollinator garden she's been working on for weeks. Coneflowers, black-eyed Susans, milkweed for the monarchs. She's building a tiny slice of paradise on our otherwise bland, beige suburban corner. Her own little rebellion against the cookie-cutter world. And right there, standing at the edge of our lawn like a peacock that rolled in Pepto-Bismol, is our neighbor. Head-to-toe pink pantsuit, arms crossed, face screwed up so tight I thought it might crack. You know the type. Every neighborhood's got one, the self-appointed queen of the HOA. She's glaring at our garden like it's a crime scene. Then, loud enough for everyone within earshot to hear, she spits out, "I expected more from your people, but I guess the ghetto follows you wherever you go. This is a respectable community, not your personal plantation." I mean, Jesus. There's a certain kind of shock when someone says something that ugly, that raw, right to your face. But my wife, she doesn't even flinch. Just stands up, brushes off her jeans, and says, totally calm, "Is there something I can help you with?" That's my wife in a nutshell, you know? Calm like the eye of a hurricane. The pink menace. Yeah, that's what I called her in my head. Can barely form words. This mess, she sputters, waving at the flowers, is against HOA regulations. It lowers property values. People like us moved here to get away from that. We knew what that meant. No one had to say it. I stepped outside, ready to jump in, but my wife shot me a look. "I got this," she was saying. And I believed her. If only I'd known what was coming. How a flower garden could turn into a courtroom war, with our lives on the line. First shot wasn't a scream, it was a letter. HOA letterhead, slipped under the door. Failure to maintain lawn to community standards. $100 fine for a bylaw, so vague it might as well have said, "Don't do anything I don't like." We paid it, hoping that'd be the end of it. 2 days later, another letter. Unapproved landscaping modification. Another 100. This one with a grainy black and white photo, like she was running a neighborhood CIA. After 2 weeks, we were $500 deep. So we did what you do. We went to the next HOA meeting. You ever been to one of those? It's a combination of bad coffee, folding chairs, and folks who peaked in high school. The pink menace sat at the head, her husband beside her looking like he'd been trapped there since '92, surrounded by gray-haired yes-men. My wife came prepared. She had bylaws printed and highlighted, a landscape architect's letter, the whole 9 yards. We laid it all out, professional as could be. Didn't matter. The pink menace just smiled that little, "I run this place" smile, and said, "If you don't like the rules, maybe you're not the right fit for this community." Walking out into the parking lot that night, the silence in the car felt like the end of the world. It wasn't about the flowers anymore. It was about us not being wanted. But what she didn't know, what none of them knew, was that my wife's a forensic accountant. She doesn't just spot patterns, she hunts them for a living. The fight was on. From then on, every new violation notice we got, we sent back a certified letter contesting it, citing bylaws, quoting the HOA's own rules back at them. But at night, our dining room transformed into a war room. My wife was pulling HOA financials, meeting minutes, county records. It was like she was assembling a murder board, connecting strings from point A to point Z. She started spotting stuff. Landscaping budgets that didn't add up. Payments to companies that didn't exist outside of a mailbox. Little things at first, but the thread kept unraveling. Meanwhile, Pinky across the street started getting bolder. She'd follow my wife to her car in the morning, toss out little barbs. "Some of us have to work harder to keep our place," she'd say, real low. "We put up security cameras." I started saying, "Let's just move, babe. It's not worth it." But my wife, she just looked at me and said, "You don't let a bully win." And then she found it. A shell company. Payments signed by Pinky and her husband, year after year. Money wasn't just missing, it was being funneled. And just like that, we stopped playing defense. Our lawyer was a bulldog, used to dealing with HOA tyrants. When he saw what we had, he just shook his head and said, "This is a masterclass in corruption." We filed suit for harassment, breach of duty, and petitioned for a forensic audit. That was when the real crazy started. When the pink menace got served, she lost her damn mind. Screamed on the property line for half an hour, all on 4K camera. She rallied the neighbors, spun wild tales about us ruining the whole community, jacking up their fees. Some believed her. We got dirty looks, cold shoulders. But our lawyers said, let the process work. So we did. And my wife kept digging. Not just the HOA, but Pinky herself. Turns out, she'd been the bookkeeper for a family business that collapsed decades ago. Owners lost everything. Money disappeared. She vanished, married the guy who became her HOA treasurer husband. The down payment on her palace came from someone else's ruined life. My wife saved all that in a folder labeled insurance policy. We didn't know how we'd use it, but we knew we'd need it. Discovery was a circus. Pinky's lawyer drowned us in paper, boxes of redacted junk, minutes that accidentally got deleted. Every obstruction just made my wife more determined. They're only blacking out the invoice numbers on payments to that shell company, she'd say, eyes bright. She was solving puzzles in real time. Meanwhile, the harassment ramped up. Nails under our tires, our mailbox smashed. New fines for improper garbage kinesthetics. You can't make this stuff up. The more they pushed, the deeper the hole they dug. After months of this, we finally made it to court. It was just a hearing for the harassment and to stop the fines, but it felt like a showdown. Pinky rolled in with a new fuchsia suit, flanked by her husband and some lawyer who looked like a soap opera villain. She played the pillar of the community, spinning our video evidence as edited, our complaints as personal vendettas. The judge was stone-faced, but I could feel the bias in the room. Us versus the nice old lady protecting the neighborhood. Then came the cross. Our lawyer put an invoice in front of her, a fake vendor, $5,000, signed by her. He asked why the HOA was paying money to a company that didn't exist. Silence. Her mask cracked, and the courtroom could smell the blood in the water. Objection. Her lawyer yelled, but the judge wanted answers. Pinky stammered, lied, looked every bit the cornered animal. Recess. Our lawyer whispered, we got her. Just keep pressing. When court resumed, my wife took the stand. Told the story from the beginning, clear and steady. Played the video, her voice, the threats, the racism, right there for everyone to hear. Then she broke down the HOA books for the judge, step by step. Facts, not emotion. The pink menace unraveled with every word. Why do you think she targeted you? Our lawyer asked. My wife met her gaze and said, because in her world, happy, successful black families don't belong here. And that was it. The switch flipped. Pinky exploded, screamed, charged the witness stand, unleashed a torrent of racist bile, and slapped my wife across the face. That sound, sharp, ugly, echoing through the silent courtroom, was the end of her reign. The judge was livid. She was cuffed, held in contempt on the spot. That one act did what months of letters and evidence couldn't. The judge threw out all the fines, ordered an independent audit, and handed down an injunction on the spot. It was total victory. Walking out of that courtroom into the sunlight, it felt like the weight of the whole neighborhood had lifted. But the story wasn't over. The court-ordered audit hit like a bomb. Pinky's husband, left alone, facing jail, flipped, cut a deal, turned over everything. The DA built a case. Embezzlement, fraud, larceny. My wife's insurance policy from the old construction company, it helped the DA paint her as a lifelong predator. They tracked down the daughter of the couple Pinky had destroyed decades ago. She testified at sentencing, told the judge how her parents died heartbroken, never knowing the truth. You could see the jury flinch. Guilty on all counts. Pink Menace, once queen of the cul-de-sac, was sentenced to 6 to 8 years. Her husband got probation in exchange for testimony. The house was sold to pay restitution. The neighborhood voted out every last board member and rewrote the rules. My wife got a plaque for restoring integrity to the community. Our garden, once a battlefield, became the new heart of the block. You know, in the aftermath, people started coming by for advice. How do we fight our HOA? What do we look for in the books? My wife, always the teacher, showed them. Don't let a bully chase you from your home. Follow the paper trail. Stand your ground. The Pink Menace is nothing but a memory now, a cautionary tale, a local legend, a punchline at backyard barbecues. Our life? Peaceful. No more dirty looks, no more hate. The garden's bigger than ever, teeming with butterflies. New neighbor's wife. My wife, stronger than ever, laughs easily. The story of that slap, that trial, those endless months of stress. It's all just the storm we went through to get here. And yeah, I'll say it. Justice wasn't just served. It was earned, petal by petal, inch by inch. What about you? Ever faced down a bully or a system rigged against you and come out the other side? Drop your story below. Tell me where you stand on what's right and what's just. This world's got enough pink menaces. Maybe it's time we all learned how to plant a few more gardens.